Well, hello! I'd like to welcome you to my first impressions of a new type of pen that I've never reviewed before. I have this one thanks to the generous donation of a viewer. This is and I may get the name wrong, an Italix Parsons Essential. I have heard about them for years. I've had several people recommend that I review one. I've just never bought one. And I don't know if I like it or not yet because this is a first impression. So I just want to remind you before I get into this that this is indeed a first impression, and anything I say, take it with a grain of salt because I've not had the benefit of using this pen for a long period of time or experience. When I do a final review, it's after at least 3 full fills with the pen. So first impressions are interesting. They're a way to see a pen, but they're not like a full formal review. And yes, I'm still upstairs because reasons. So let's dive into the pen. So the Parsons Italix came in this box. Now, oops, didn't mean to show you that yet. I don't know if this is the box that they are typically sold in, but this is the box that it came in. Open it up. This person was kind enough to include a nib. When I looked at the website, there are apparently several nib options available for this pen, a lot more than I would have expected. And this, of course, is the pen, which kind of I don't know, paint, a very like water. I don't know what you'd call that color, like water. And a little bit of design work there. Fairly straightforward, actually. Nice cigar shape. I don't see any branding on the... Oh, no, I do. Let's see if the camera can pick it up. This is sneaky. Italix Parsons Essential. Wow, that almost fades away to be invisible. Open the pen up. This viewer really strongly suggested I try out the... He called it a stub nib, but it says broad, so I don't know, a broad stub nib? Anyway, that's what I'm going to try out. I may try the fine later on. We'll see. And it comes with a converter, a Schmidt converter. Just, there's the other nib on it. Alright, so I need to try out an ink in this pen. So I'm going to try out this, made by the same people who make the Califolio inks, the L'Artisan. I really can't make that other word out, but anyway, there it is. So this is Blue Myosotis, which is a flower. Pretty in the cap. Yeah, a little bit of a smell to it, which I think it's supposed to have. Feels like it might be a metal pen, too, now that I've been using it here. Actually not bad on the first fill, but we'll do 2 or 3 here. And I'll discreetly clean it off camera. Actually getting this crazy thought that I may just want to try out the other nib yet, so may have to see if I can sneak off screen and pick up another converter. Kind of run out of my spare converters, so there is that. I was hoping it would take up a little less room than that. Alright, the ink is I won't try to pronounce that. It's an attractive blue color. It's hard to tell. This is not the greatest paper, how well it shades or anything. And I'm getting a little bit of that smell from it. Nothing earth-shattering, but it's there. So, let's see. Well, this is a steel nib. But being a stub nib, it definitely has its line variation going on. Wetness and flow. No trouble keeping up. I do see with this setup I've got the shadow from the camcorder right there, so I maybe want to rethink the position of one of my lights, but this is not my permanent set. Although there's perks to doing this up here. Let's see, wetness and flow, the smear test. And you could probably tell this is a pretty wet pen. I'm pleased with it. And then reverse writing for those who are into that kind of thing. Stub-like, a little narrower. And finally, the world-famous Pierre Gustafson test. Yeah, pretty pleased with that. Very good. Now, I took it into my head to try another converter so I could try out the fine nib. Went real quick and grabbed some converters that looked like they might fit. So I've got this one, which I have no idea what brand it is. And I found this one not in a pen, which is a Kaigaloo. So, we'll see if one of these fits. Screws right in. That's interesting. So, the Kaigaloo it is. Screwed in. To my surprise. Alright, let's fill it up. I'm not going to fill it too full because obviously I can't have both nibs in use at the same time. Uh-oh. And that was a surprise. There we go. Okay, so not a very high quality converter here. Okay, and I don't think there's the best seal in there anyway. So, you know, there is that. This ink, by the way, I don't know if you could tell by the smell, is Lagoon Oceanic. Definitely has a much stronger smell. This is the fine nib. Again, steel nib, not going to be flexy. Not that they can't be, it's just that they typically are not. Wetness and flow. Again, pretty good. The smear test, I think you can tell this is a very wet pen. Reverse writing. Really horrible. And finally, the world famous Pierre Gustafson test. And just to satisfy my curiosity, switching nibs again, now that this has been out for a while. Oh, wrote just fine. All right. So that's the Italix Parsons Essential. Fairly conservative pen. I think it's well made. I'm not sure I'm who makes the nibs, if they're Bach or if they're Jovo or Schmidt. Although I'm not sure if Schmidt nibs or if they're made by somebody else. But anyway, but a very high quality, well made pen. Out of curiosity, I did look up prices. They are fairly reasonable, kind of around TWSBI range. One important test I always like to do, except this shirt, the pockets aren't very deep, so yeah, it takes a little effort to push it on the pocket, but it does go on and hold securely. So that's the Italix Parsons Essential. So far, I'm quite impressed with it. I'm impressed with both nibs. Unfortunately, I can't give them both time at the same time. So I'll be cleaning out my fine nib here and working with just the Italix stub nib for now. And perhaps next time I fill it up, I'll fill it up and just focus on the fine nib. But I just really wanted to try both nibs out tonight, so I did. So I want to thank you for watching. And just remember, with a first impression, it is exactly that. This is my opinion without any experience or knowledge. My first time using the pen. And since this is a new pen, not a vintage pen, I didn't even clean it out. Don't say that too loudly. So, I want to thank you for watching. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.